for those who were not here a minute ago, welcome to our joint webinar on OpenAgri and Farmtopia open calls. I will briefly introduce our speakers before we continue. So the representative of OpenAgri today will be Nikos Marianos, speaking and introducing the overall project. And for Farmtopia, we will have Dionysis Solomonov, who will also introduce the Farmtopia project. And then as we proceed to the open call overview and how to write successful proposals, we will have Maya Radicic and Dusan Pevac from Foodscale Hub, who will talk about more in depth, and our colleague Anna Stefanovic, who will be moderating the Q&A session. So please, I am asking now Nikos Marianos to give us a brief introduction to the OpenAgri project. Thank you.
Hi, everyone. So let me share my screen. Okay, can you see the full screen now?
Yes, we can.
Okay. So hi, my name is Nikos Marianos from Green Supply Chain Digital Innovation Hub. I'm the co-coordinator of OpenAgri project, and I will present a few things about this nice project. General overview. The project focuses on democratizing digital farming through tailored open source and open hardware-based solutions. It's a Horizon Europe project with a total funding of 5 million euros. It will have a duration of 3 years and started this January. And it's a multi-actor approach project, and it has 18 partners from 7 countries, representing farmers, farm advisors, agri-tech providers, universities, a wide variety of partners that they need to work together. And we have the coordinator is Maastricht University, and we have important partners. And since we are dealing with open source and open hardware, we also have Linux, the Linux Foundation, and specifically the AgStack sub-foundation, let's say, of Linux in the consortium. So the project has 5 pilots that already started in 10 countries, and it has, we expect 9 more from this open call that you came here to hear about this in the webinar. So the agriculture, why is OpenAgri needed? What is the challenge here that we're trying to address? Agricultural digital solutions, or ADSs as we call them, are seen as an opportunity to improve the sustainability, performance, and competitiveness of the agri-food sector. However, their uptake is still very limited due to a number of factors. First of all, ADSs are in many cases too expensive, and economic benefits are doubtful, especially for small farmers. While most of the business models for the ADS providers focus on large farms and large-scale crops, because this is where they see that there is the most opportunity to buy these solutions, to pay for these solutions. Moreover, farmers have low trust in ADSs because they fear that their data will be used against them or misused, but also because usually the ADSs work like a black box. So farmers don't know exactly how this works, and this makes them, worry a bit. So hearing something like our amazing solution is based on AI and unicorn tiers, it's not really reassuring for farmers. And finally, farms in remote areas experience problems with network connectivity that affects the performance of the ADSs. Having a solution that works in the backyard of a research center that has an experimental 6G network is not exactly a guarantee that it will also work in the mountains of Crete, for example. So our mission is to democratize digital farming by enabling the development and deployment of innovative, cost-effective, energy-efficient open source software and open hardware-based agricultural digital solutions that can operate at a high performance even in remote areas with weak connectivity. And why is OpenAgri unique, and how it will achieve this mission? OpenAgri will establish 14 sustainable innovation pilots, or SIPs as we call them, in at least 10 countries, and engage farmers, advisors, and other stakeholders in co-creating 28 open source based ADSs. 5 more ADSs will be created in the context of participatory prototyping activities inspired by the makerspaces approach, aiming to solve local farm challenges. Moreover, OpenAgri will offer 7 reusable open source software services to support ADS providers in building ADSs based on cloud, edge, and mixed model based approach. The OpenAgri results will be shared through more than 20 open days and webinars, a catalog of open source solutions, and a powerful decision support tool that helps selecting the most appropriate edge, cloud, or mixed model ADS for different conditions across Europe. This is an overview of the 5 core SIPs of OpenAgri. The first is in Greece, and it focuses on creating a solution for visual scouting in vineyards for pests using a camera-based machinery add-on system. The second sustainable innovation pilot is in France and focuses on monitoring the drinking areas frequentation by cattle using a solution based on UHF RFID. It focuses actually on tracking possible problems with of a disease, emerging disease in the cows. So it's focused on livestock welfare. The third pilot in Belgium focuses on potatoes and on UAV-based detection of Colorado potato beetle. The fourth SIP in Poland focuses on sugar beet and potatoes and creating an open hardware IoT-based smart irrigation system for autonomous irrigation. And the fifth and final SIP, which is actually a cross-sector pilot, focuses on developing an IoT-assisted solution for organic compost production in open piles. So each of the 5 core SIPs will co-create then following a comparison or that against their effectiveness, performance, and energy efficiency to assess which of them is better in each case. So, as I mentioned earlier, OpenAgri is developing 7 reusable open source services, which can be reused by ADS providers to help them, avoid rebuilding everything from scratch. So this is something that is offered to the SIPs to be funded by this open call, and it's actually mandatory for the SIPs to use at least one of these services. And these services, it's important to mention that these are being co-developed by a team of contributors from 3 continents, benefiting from the guidance of Linux Foundation. And that's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you, Nikos, very much. This was a very good and in-depth explanation of the OpenAgri. And now we will continue with Farmtopia. Dionysis, we're giving you the word.
Hi, welcome. Let me take a moment to share my input presentation. Can you see the presentation, the front page?
Yes, we can see.
Okay, perfect. So I can get started.
Not the full mode
name is...
But not the full screen.
No.
Give me a moment.
Mm-hmm.
What about now?
No, not yet.
I will try to reshare. Sorry for this delay.
That's all right. Things like that happen.
Especially when we're using Zoom. What about now?
No?
No, we can see the shared screen, but not the full screen.
Okay, so I guess I have to share my entire screen instead of the presentation file to make it work. Now it must be working.
Yes.
Okay.
It is, yeah.
Okay, my name is Dionysios Solomos. I'm from Republic in Greece, and I'm the coordinator of the Farmtopia project. A few information about the project. Farmtopia is a Horizon Europe project which comes with a full title, Democratizing Digital Farming Through Smart Solutions for Small Farms. It has a duration of 36 months. It started in September 2023, and it has been running for almost 1 year. Our total budget exceeds 5.5 million euros, and the consortium gathers 22 partners from 11 European countries, representing various stakeholders from across the agricultural value chain, including farm organizations, advisory entities, digital innovation hubs, work in Farmtopia is articulated around 5 work packages with our sustainable innovation pipeline being positioned at the heart of our implementation approach. The problem we aim to address is quite similar with what OpenAgri is addressing as well, and Nikos very well explained. The problem is the limited uptake of agricultural digital solutions among European farmers, and especially by small and medium-scale farms. These farmers face challenges benefits and solutions that are often incompatible with their particular needs. Other factors include the lack of digital skills, low trust in commercial vendors, and problems in connectivity, especially in the remote. The overall mission of the Farmtopia project is to advance the digital transformation of the agricultural sector and democratize digital farming by stimulating a paradigm shift in the way agricultural digital solutions, especially for smaller farms, are created, deployed, and financed. In doing so, we pioneer a farm-driven approach that fosters the co-creation of cost-effective agricultural digital solutions tailored to the unique needs of smaller farms through enhanced collaboration between producers, technological providers, and key stakeholders. We also seek to drop down the cost for both technological providers and farmers by creating a suite of reusable software modules, introducing sustainable business and governance models associated with digital solutions, and leveraging the provision of public infrastructure and data to support the wide proliferation of relevant solutions. At the heart of our implementation approach, we find our sustainable innovation pilots, where producers and technological providers come together in specific conditions to co-create, deploy, test, and validate the effectiveness of a range of digital solutions. Currently, we engage 53 commercial farms across 7 agricultural sectors in 12 European countries. The crops addressed in the context of our sustainable innovation pilots include avocado, oyster mushrooms, dairy sheep and goats, industrial hemp, cereals, carrots, traditional cow's meat, maize, wheat, and grapes. Through the open call, we aim to fund 9 additional SIPs to support the creation of 9 new smart digital solutions, expanding to new countries, crops, agricultural sectors, and types of technologies. We have also completed the initial development cycle of the Farmtopia core services, which include a digital field book, which is an open source farm calendar that enables the digital recording of farmers' assets and activities, a data integration module which supports the subscription to and integration of external data services such as earth observation data, weather forecast, and pest infestation information, and the data exchange module which supports secure and standards compliant data sharing among groups of smaller farms based on standardized protocol for authorization and access control. It is important to mention that all the three modules are based on a common semantic model that ensures the interoperability and data sharing viability based on widely accepted standards and methodologies. The implementation code, it is also important to mention that all these services, the core Farmtopia services, are available as standalone, ready-to-use services, but they are also offered as open source software for easy expansion and integration by third-party developers. The full implementation code, along with supporting documentation, is available on GitLab in Docker container files format, which means that technological providers can easily download these modules and install them on existing servers to improve the functionality and the services offered by an existing solution. What I would like also to mention is that the core Farmtopia services are currently tested in the context of two of our pilots, and they are expected to be integrated into the proposed solutions that will be funded by the open call. Now, I think the discussion comes to a point where everybody's wondering which digital solutions are more appropriate for small farms. In reality, there is a wide range of digital solutions that can support farmers' operations, including decision support systems, earth observation data, weather forecasts, smart farming solutions, integrated farm management tools, remote sensing applications, drone for crop and livestock monitoring, automated systems, and digital applications that connect farmers with their peers buyers. Most of these digital solutions are already covered in the context of the Farmtopia project. However, trying to sort out which single digital solution or which specific category of digital solution is more relevant to farmers, I think this discussion is quite misleading. Instead, it is crucial to understand and consider the essential characteristics that a digital solution must have in order to be relevant and truly beneficial for smaller farms. To begin with, digital solutions should come with a pricing scheme that does not incur high upfront investment cost, but is based on subscription model with a monthly service fees that can be affordable by farmers. A digital solution should feature a farmer-centered design with simple interfaces that can be easily used by adopter with basic digital skills. Simplicity is a very important characteristic for digital solutions. They should address day-to-day challenges such as determining the right amount of irrigation or the right timing of fertilization, and provide this information in a straightforward and actionable way. Scalability is also a key. Digital solutions should be designed to be adaptable to different farm profiles, to different crops and agricultural sectors and settings. Finally, what we found during our interaction with farmers is that they want to retain a high degree of control over their operations. This means that the role of digital solutions should be to provide accurate data and insightful information that will empower farmers to make informed decisions and not to replace them. A little bit of information regarding Farmtopia's expected impact on digitalization and the sector. Apart from cost reduction, which is inherent in our activity, we will support enhancements in policy and regulatory frameworks through the development of a technological code of conduct and actionable recommendation. To raise farmers' awareness and competency on using digital solutions, we will share success stories and practices abstracts associated with our digital solutions, and we are going to organize demonstration events to showcase in practice how these digital solutions are applied and the benefits associated with their use. A sharing platform will be also created to increase information availability about digital solutions, but also to provide and equipment sharing opportunities for farmers. And finally, through targeted social media campaigns and the establishment of local farming ecosystem, highlighting the role of digital innovation hubs and cooperatives, we will debunk the misconceptions and stereotypes surrounding the use of digital solutions. Our overarching objective is to ensure that 64,000 farmers across Europe will gain access to validated agricultural digital by the project. I will conclude with a timeline and milestone of the Farmtopia project. We have already completed the development of the initial version of the designated digital solutions in our ships and their associated business models, and the first pilot trials have already started. The open call was published in October, and we will be receiving application until 7th of January. In February 2025, we will deliver the code of conduct that will address critical issues pertaining to data governance and the use of technological solutions and associated policy recommendation. The sharing platform will be released in February 2025, and the second round of piloting activities, which include both internal pilots and external ones, the ones that will be funded through the open call, will take place between September 2025 and August 2026. Finally, by the end of the project, in August 2026, we will deliver detailed technical specs and guidelines for the development of digital solutions tailored to small farms. That's all from me.
Thank you, Dionysius, very much. I think we maybe already have some potential questions. If the participants would like to know more about the project, you can start writing down the questions, and at the Q&A session, we will answer them. Thank you, Dionysius, very much. I will kindly now ask Maya to give us an overview of the OpenAgri open call. Thank you, Maya.
Okay, hello from my side. I hope you can see my presentation in full screen mode.
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Okay. So this first presentation will be about the OpenAgri open call at a glance. Okay. So the call was launched on September 2nd, and you have like 2 or 3 weeks time until the deadline. In total, 900,000 euros is dedicated to the open call, and the 9 sustainable innovation pilots will be funded through this call, where 100,000 is planned. This is the overall timeline of activities that are following after the submission, where the implementation is planned to start in May 2025. These are the open call documents. You can find them on OpenAgri website, section dedicated to the open call, and it consists of these 7 documents plus the page on our website dedicated to the OpenAgri open source services or solutions. Submission tool of the OpenAgri is Open Call Hub, where you can register, fill in all the necessary information, and once you have a proposal ready, you can submit it. Also, registration to become an external evaluator is still open, but in case you're opting to submit your application, you should not opt to be an evaluator because you will not be selected. When it comes to application structure, it consists of 3 parts. First is online, what you will need to fill in during the registration. Then you need to fill in some administrative part, proposal per se, including the budget, and the ethics self-assessment part, which is excluded from the 10-page limit. These are chapters of the proposal. Chapters from 3 to 7 are covered by the page limit, while the other sections are excluded. So excellence, impact, implementation, replicability, and cost justification has to be within 10 pages. When it comes to eligibility, OpenAgri Open Call is dedicated to a small consortium of 2 partners, ADS provider, which could be SME, university, research institute, non-for-profit organization, and an end user, farm structure, farm cooperative, or other agri-food production organization or company representing farms. When it comes to some technical requirements, we aim to fund proposals with a high starting technological readiness level, 5 and above. All proposals have to integrate at least one OpenAgri reusable open source service, and it is expected that 2 versions of the ADSs are delivered and evaluated. And some part of the outputs have to be openly available. When it comes to eligibility criteria, as I said, it's for small consortia, 2 partners. All open call objectives and guidelines have to be respected. Applicants have to be legally established at the time of the application. Proposals should not be pre-submitted in any other open call and not funded for it. The proposed work has to be carried out after the selection process, and submission has to be performed timely and in accordance with the rules, and the only submission entry point open call hub. So none of the other ways would be considered as eligible. Submission roadmap, open call awareness. So you need to check open call documents available at our website, register or create an account at the Open Call Hub platform. In case you haven't done it, please do it as soon as possible. Check the specific eligibility criteria, as explained before, but in depth you can find it in the applicant's guide and other open call documents. Prepare the application, fill in all the necessary information, be as concise as possible, and respect the page limit. Submit application timely, and once the call is closed, we will proceed with the eligibility check of the application, and in case it will be either sent to evaluation in case everything is in line with the eligibility criteria, or it will be rejected because some of the parts are ineligible. And after the open call evaluation will start. When it comes to award criteria, these are 4 main eligibility criteria, and you can see the percentage of the marks that are consist of. 2 external evaluators will be evaluating each proposal. They will have either technical or business/agri expertise, and they have to be registered at the Open Call Hub as well as an evaluators. And all the evaluators will have to sign non-disclosure agreement and the exclusion of any conflict of interest with any of the potential applicants. And of course, OpenAgri consortium members are not eligible to be neither applicants nor evaluators. And that will be all from my side at this point.
Thank you, Maya, very much. Now we're giving the main word to Dusan Pevac. He will explain the Farmtopia open call in depth to you. Thank you, Dusan.
Thank you very much, Alexandra, for the introduction, and to my colleagues for their presentation so far. Briefly from my side, my name is Dusan Pevac. I'm the head of finance at Foodscale Hub, and I'm the main contact point for the Farmtopia open call that is currently ongoing. And I will share with you some of the key information shortly. Can you see my screen in presentation mode?
Yes,
All
we
good?
can.
Okay. So I usually start my presentation by telling us who we are, what we offer, and what we are looking for. But since my colleague Dionysis has already told you about our project in much more detail than I could have, I will skip that part. And now I will present to you what we are offering and what we are looking for. Just like in OpenAgri, in Farmtopia, we are also offering 900,000 euros to 9 of the winning sustainable innovation pilots. With each one set to receive 100,000 over a 12-month period of project implementation. We are distributing this funding as equity-free deliverable-based funding, meaning that you will not be asked to return this money, or will we ask any participation in your company after it has been completed. And deliverable-based means that we will not be assessing the financial records of the awarded applicants in order to receive, for them to receive the fund. However, these deliverables will need to be approved by our internal Farmtopia relevant experts, and the winners will be asked to keep this documentation for a period of 5 years after, in case the European Commission would like to carry out an audit on any of the funded activities. We are also requiring that the potential applicants integrate at least one Farmtopia service or component in their in order to be eligible, and in addition to monetary support. The winners will also be supported from our cross-cutting work packages dedicated to policies, business support, management, and of course communication and dissemination. The eligibility is quite clear. We are targeting a consortia of 2 members, an SME that will be developing the agricultural digital solution, and the farm, that has to be small or medium-sized farm, where this solution will be applied, tested, and validated. We are also requiring the usage of at least one Farmtopia service, and integration of more than one service will be considered as advantageous. And you can find out more about the Farmtopia services at the link we have provided here, but also we have added a document called Guidance for Farmtopia Services at our Farmtopia website, and we strongly encourage you to go through that document. The proposals need to address challenges on a farm level and to be aligned with the objectives of this open call, as well as Farmtopia project as a whole. We only accept applications from registered applicants, meaning that if somebody would like to apply for this open call and then only create a company after they have been awarded, will not pass the eligibility check. The same goes for farms. We need registered farms in eligible Horizon Europe countries. So only those who have registered themselves with the relevant national authorities prior to the application to the open call can be selected for funding. As my colleague Maya cannot fund the same activity twice, meaning that Farmtopia, the proposal for the Farmtopia open call must be something that has not been funded by a European Union yet. And you cannot, if your proposal gets selected for funding, you cannot apply with the same proposal for other calls, whether they are open calls or larger Horizon Europe calls. And they need to be submitted by the 7th of January, 5 p.m. CET, in order to be considered for evaluation and for funding. Here we have listed the brief timeline. So the open call is closing on 7th of January next year. And the eligibility checks and evaluation will be performed by the end of February, following which the so-called post-evaluation activities will take place and will be carried out during March. You can find out more about the detailed process in the open call guidelines for applicants available at our website. The contract is intended for the period of April and May next year, and June is reserved is all the preparatory activities, following which the open call sub-projects will start, and they will last for 1 year. The funding will be distributed in 3 installments upon the acceptance of the relevant deliverables. As you can see, it has been divided into 3, 7, and 2 months, following which the applicants would be entitled to receiving the funding. The roadmap is the same as it is for the OpenAgri open call. It has already launched, and now the applicants are creating their proposals. In order to create a good proposal, it is essential to go carefully over the documentation that is available in the Open Call Hub to see what we are looking for and how your proposal can address the challenges we have indicated. Of course, in order to apply for the Open Call, you need to register at the Open Call Hub platform and to examine the eligibility criteria to see whether what you're proposing is actually eligible for this open call. In order not to waste your time, you can invest a lot of time in something that is not in the scope of Farmtopia. After you complete your proposal, you will be asked to fill all the necessary information and upload the additional annexes. And the final step is, of course, to submit the proposal and wait for the results. We will distribute the evaluation summary reports for all of the proposals that have been submitted, whether they are selected or not selected, or if they remain on the reserves list. Here are the 3 evaluation criteria that we are using in Farmtopia. The first one is called excellence and relevance, and it has the highest paying factor. The next one is called impact, and the final one is called implementation. And all of these criteria will be marked with a score between 1 and 5. And in order to advance to the, sorry, not to advance, but to be eligible for funding in this sense, the proposal needs to achieve a mark of at least 3 on all of the 3 criteria, meaning that and relevance can be very good. You can get a 5. You can also get a 5 on impact from both evaluators. But if one gives you a 2 and one gives you a 3, in the implementation, your average mark will be 2.5, meaning that you cannot be selected for funding, even though you could receive a great score, as you have scored great marks in the first 2. So we strongly advise to these criteria as independent and do your best in that sense. You can see a bit more details about the criteria, what we are assessing under them. I will not be reading all of this information, but you can just take a look, and this presentation will, of course, be available later. In Farmtopia, we also have an extra point scheme, meaning that we will award up to 1 extra point to each application that meets the following conditions. Deploying the Sustainable Innovation Pilot in a country that is not already covered by Farmtopia internal SIPs. My colleague Dionysis has told you what countries we are covering with our internal SIPs, and if your country of piloting is outside, you can receive 1.5 points on that, and the same goes for agricultural sectors not covered by the Farmtopia internal SIPs. So in total, if a pilot is proposing a solution in a country and in a sector that is not already covered, they will be entitled to receiving 1 extra point, which is very significant considering that the maximum amount is 5 without these extra points. As in OpenAgri, the proposals in Farmtopia will be evaluated by 2 external experts, 1 business expert and 1 technical expert. And it is very important here that no conflict of interest is allowed, meaning that potential evaluators cannot be members of the Farmtopia consortium, and they cannot be members of a team that is applying open call. You can find out more about it on our website, but here you have the basics. So we are looking for EU nationals or nationals of Horizon Europe associated countries, scientific, expert, passion for innovation, sustainable or similar fields, strong analytical skills and experience in evaluating for similar purpose. And to reiterate, they cannot that are applying to the Farmtopia Open Call. Okay, now we have reached the structure. How should we go from here? Should we get then go back?
You can finish, Dusan.
Oh,
and
okay,
I will,
okay, good.
and later on I will get back to the.
Okay, not to mix the presentations.
Yeah,
Good, thank you.
It's fine.
Okay, so the proposal structure in Farmtopia, we have the online document that needs to be submitted outside. That is the declaration of honor, SMEs, farm declaration for the farmer partners, and the consortium where the members constitute their relationship for the purpose of applying to the Farmtopia Open. And the proposal template is also divided into three parts. The first one is called general information. The second one we call the content part, that is grouped by the evaluation criteria. This will make it easier both for the applicants to create their proposals and for the external experts to assess them. And this part has a limitation of 10 pages. And the document concludes with an ethical self-assessment that all of the applicants need to fulfill in order to be considered eligible for the Farmtopia Open Call. And we strongly advise that you write only what is essential and respect the page time limit, as the evaluators will be instructed to disregard everything that exceeds the 10 pages limitation for the content part and the character limitation for the general information part. Here you have the chapters in which the proposal is divided. We have the executive summary, the general information, the 3 criteria for evaluation, and the ethical self-assessment. In the executive summary, you are only asked to write the basics and the most important aspects of your proposed solution, meaning that you should highlight what is the main objective of your proposal, how you plan to achieve it, what are the key characteristics of the agricultural digital solution you are developing, and how it addresses problems on a farm level. And we strongly advise everyone to note that this summary could be published on the Farmtopia website for dissemination purposes, and we strongly advise not to include any confidential information here, as we will not be liable for sharing it on our social media and to our subscribers. The next part is mainly concerned with the administrative aspects. You are here asked to write the name of your proposal. You can give it an acronym if you wish, but you don't have to. Here you select the sector and the country of implementation, which is very important because based on this, you will be assessed on whether you are entitled to receiving the extra points or not. And finally, here you are asked to include the organizational information, such as your legal name, address, and VAT number or equivalent, and the contact details. And we strongly advise everyone to be very careful with the information they are providing here, because this contact will be used for the communication during the contracting phase and the evaluation phase as well. So be very careful here. The first criterion here is excellence and relevance. And in this criterion, the experts will be assessed the description objective, the technology you are using. And we also ask that you present it in a graphical way that will make it easier for the evaluators to understand the essence of your technological solution. Here we are also asking for current and the target technology readiness level at the end of the sub-project. What I forgot to say is that in order to be eligible for the Farmtopia Open Call, your solution needs to be at least at technology readiness level 6, and you can find out more about this in our Open Call documentation kit. And a very important part here is that you demonstrate the Farmtopia reusable software components that you have used, as well as their means of integration. And if you are using more than one service, this will be considered as an advantage. The next criterion is called impact, and it is also divided into two subgroups. The first one is business impact, and the second one is called sustainability. In the business aspect, be assessing the of your proposed solution, include proposed business model with the value proposition of your proposal will be very important here. The measurement metrics that will be used in progress of your solution, its range of application, see whether it can be applied in other regions, as well as in other sectors, innovative elements of the solution, while the sustainability part is dedicated more to the impact of your solution in environmental, societal, and other non-monetary impacts. And here you will also be asked to present key performance indicators to help you measure the impact of the solution. Now here we have metrics in both sides. What is important to note is that the metrics in the business impact part are meant to be used as milestones to track your progress, to see how your solution is developing and whether you're deviating from it, while the sustainability KPIs are set to measure the impact of your solution and how it is also being delivered. The final criterion is called implementation, and under this criterion, the evaluators will be assessing the work plan, including the key activities out of which your proposal is composed, and the team that will be implementing the project, their key competencies, and their compatibility. This part, you will also be asked to identify key risks that could hinder the implementation of your project, as well as the means of their mitigation. And finally, we have the tentative budget in this part that follows the structure of European Commission. And what is important to note here is that this budget will be only indicative, only tentative, as we are not assessing the financial records of the awarded pilots, but this budget will help the external experts to assess the key costs that you have identified, as well as measure your resource efficiency. And the subcontracting part here is also something that needs to be highlighted, as inclusion of subcontractors requires their justification, meaning that you will be asked to explain what activities you are subcontracting and why. Sorry, I think yes, I'm missing one slide that is dedicated to the ethics and security checklist, which is also a mandatory part, and it needs to be completed by everyone to see whether the proposal could raise some ethical issues. Here I have inserted yesterday's screenshot of our Open Call Hub platform, more specifically the discussion page or the FAQ page for Farmtopia, where you can also find some of the questions that the applicants have already asked and that we have provided answers to. The way we have envisaged communication with applicants is either through the central page for the Open Call Hub platform that I'm now displaying, or through the central email for the Farmtopia Open Call available at this slide, which is farmtopia@opencallhub.eu. So this brings me to the end of my presentation. Thank you very much. And Maya, back to you.
Thank you, Dusan. I will share my screen and Let me find it.
By the way, thank you, Dusan, very much.
Okay, I think now it's in full screen mode, if I'm not mistaken.
Yes, we can see it.
Okay, perfect. Okay, so basically, the presentation will be quite similar to the one that Dusan presented regarding the how to prepare. Are quite similar in structure. Main purpose is how to prepare the successful proposal and to give how to actually structure your thoughts and your proposal. So from actual idea, work, choice of people, etc., to the document that describes the idea, work, and people. So how you should how to structure your thoughts. So first read the documents, structure the proposal. It's iterative process, so you might need some time and several iteration of the proposal in order to reach the document that you are satisfied with and that you think and feel it's a winning one. Yeah. So application structure, I already show you this slide, but it's good to show you again. So here we will mostly focus in the middle part. So proposal, text, and budgets, which are actually covering these five chapters of the proposal. So in executive summary, you need to present you need to give us a couple of sentences of your idea, a short pitch. As Dusan already said, please don't reveal any confidential information here because it might be published on the OpenAgri website. So give a main objective of your application, expected outcomes, and how your solution is in line with the focus of the OpenAgri Open Flow. In general information, application name, acronym if you wish to have, consortium description for both partners, contact details of the legal representative of both partners, and in case contact person is different than legal representative, please note it in the designated field, and select the type of applicants. And please make sure to provide correct information because it will be used for communication purposes in the future activities. So in case you provide us with wrong email address, we will not be able to reach to you in case we need, and you might miss some important deadlines, which means that you will be discarded because you are not. We cannot reach to you. When it comes to excellence, these are some of the main topics to be covered. Key objectives of the proposal cultural digital solution. Also, the starting and targeted technological readiness level. As I already said, we are aiming to high starting TRL, 5 and above. Present the technology that you will be using in your ADS, and please give us a visual presentation of your solution and how you plan to integrate different parts of it. Here, Nikos presented this slide with reusable components of the OpenAgri services. I'm giving it to you once again because it's very important that you select at least one, and you can find more about these services both on our website but also on GitHub. When it comes to impact, there are a couple of sub-chapters to be covered: business, financial, sustainability, impact of remote rural areas, because as we already said, OpenAgri is mostly targeted with areas with weak connectivity and multi-actor involvement of your how you plan to overcome this. When it comes to implementation, please give a proper work plan and activities of your solution. Present your team, both partners and the team members of each of the consortium members. Expected results and deliverables. OpenAgri is also deliverable based open call, which means that you will have 3 mandatory deliverables, but in case you would like to include more, you are free to do it. Replicability, the whole idea is to save time. So open source components should be offered to public in order to save time and to other potential companies or whomever who would like to use your solution, and how it could be how it is replicable in use in other ADSs. This part, ethics and security, is not covered with the page limit, but it's important to know if your solution is raising any ethical issue or security. Is it in regulation with your compliance with EU regulation in your country? And if personal data collection is needed, and how you will do you have protocols in place how you will overcome this issue? When it comes to proposal budgets, these are the categories. Actually, it's 3 phases, following with 3 deliverables, and it's as you can see the cost calculation. Also, when it comes to budget, these are the cost categories that are eligible, but also you will see that subcontracting, for example, is allowed for up to maximum of 25%, but it has to be clearly justified, but also it's not included in the direct cost calculation. Winning proposal may have a total cost less or equal to 100,000 euros, where one partner cannot receive more than 60,000 euros. And yeah, it's some formatting guidelines. We both Dusan and myself repeated several times, please respect the page limit, because external evaluators are instructed not to pay attention to the excess pages, so you will lose points in case some important information, for example, budget, is outside of page limit. And that would be all from my side.
Thank you, Maya, very much. And once again, thank you, Dusan, for giving this thorough explanation on how to write a successful proposal. I'm sure our participants of the webinar will have now some questions for you. I'm also kindly asking Anna to take over in this session of moderating Q&A session. Thank you.
Thank you, Alexandra. Hi, everyone. I'm Anna Stefanovic, Communication and Dissemination Manager at Foodscale Hub. First, I want to thank you all for joining us today, and thank you to all our speakers and their presentations. Moving to the Q&A session, as my colleague Alexandra mentioned earlier, you could place your questions in the Q&A tab. You can still do it, of course, so please use this chance to receive the live answers from my colleagues. We already have some open questions written. I will read them and my colleagues will provide the answers. Starting with the first one, if a company had more than one piece of land and one of them did not exceed 49 hectares, and therefore also recalculated the standard output in proportion to the land considered, and less than 250,000 euros, is it possible to consider it as a use case for the project and not enter the ineligibility criteria?
I believe that this question is more for Farmtopia, and the answer here is no, because in order to pass the eligibility criteria, you need to be a registered farm. From what I'm reading, this would not be a registered farm, but rather a part of a farm that is registered. And this registered farm would probably be larger than 50 hectares. So in that sense, this land piece would not be considered as an eligible farmer for the Farmtopia open call.
And in case of OpenAgri, although our focus are small and medium-sized farms, this could be eligible if all the other eligibility criteria are met.
Thank you, Dusan. Thank you, Maya.
And now, before we continue with the next question, I would like to make a necessary clarification about cooperatives in the context of the Farmtopia open call. In general, in the Farmtopia open call, cooperatives and producer organizations are not eligible as direct beneficiaries. However, they can still get involved through their member farms. Overall, our approach is that the involvement of cooperatives and producer organizations in the execution of proposals that will be funded through the open call is highly encouraged. They can work alongside with the applicant farms to specify, install, and utilize the designated digital solutions, and they can work alongside the technological provider to develop effective business models. The proposal that will specify the involvement to a specific degree of cooperatives will be highly valued, even though they will not receive additional points under the different evaluation criteria. Cooperatives can also participate as subcontractors within a proposal. However, it is very important their role to be clearly defined in the proposal's development stage.
Thank you very much thank you very much, Dionis. I agree with everything you said. It is very important to clarify here the eligibility of cooperatives and how they can best be involved in the Farmtopia open call proposal.
Thank you. So we can move on with the next question. Is the United Kingdom eligible to be a new pilot farm for the Farmtopia open call?
Yes, it is.
Okay. We have a next question. Is there proposal format available to use it?
Yeah, for both open calls, proposal templates could be found at the websites of the calls of the project.
Yes.
Along with the rest of the open call kits.
Thank you. Is the presentation going to be uploaded somewhere? I would like to say that yes, our question will be answered and posted on our YouTube channels. So the project's YouTube channels. Also, our partners Nikos Kalatis from Neuropublic will create a video addressing specific questions regarding technical informations. So the video will be uploaded, so you will have an access to the answers anytime you need. Moving to the next questions. Can the same technological solution be proposed in both calls?
This is a tricky question because we are the organization that is managing both open calls. So if you do it, we will know. And this is one of the, yes, as Maya put it shortly, no. It cannot be funded by both open calls. This is the double funding danger that the European Commission is warning about. So you can only receive funding for one of the open call. Of course, if it is the same proposal, if it is a different one, the same organization can provide two totally different solutions that will be used in different settings, and this will be okay. You can receive funding from both of the open calls. But if the proposal is the same then it cannot be funded in both calls.
As you said, Dusan, we will know.
Yeah. If I can also add something here.
Yes, please, Nikos.
Even if the same proposal is submitted in both calls, it will not be funded simply because they have a different focus. I mean, in OpenAgri, we are calling for ADS providers that already have a cloud-based solution to make adjustments to create another version that is appropriate for remote farms based on edge computing. So I don't see how a proposal that fits for Farmtopia can actually also fit for OpenAgri. So a bad fit means a very low score.
Yeah, this is also true. But from an eligibility standpoint, and I also see, yes, the budget limitation is the same in both Farmtopia and OpenAgri. They both follow the standard financial supported third parties limitation, meaning that one entity can receive 60,000 euros the most. And I also see where can we find the FAQ of Farmtopia. You can find it on the Open Call Hub page dedicated to Farmtopia. You have all of the questions that have been posted and answered. And you can, of course, post your own question there, and we will do our best to answer it as soon as we can.
Thank you, everyone, for answers. Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Question. I kindly ask you for the meaning or valid examples of reusable components. Thank you very much.
Okay, Dionysis and Nikos, I think this one is more for you than for me.
Yeah, I can take it. First of all, is it for Farmtopia or for OpenAgri? Because I missed that.
This is for Farmtopia.
Okay, yeah. I mean, in the page, the web page, where all the material is available of about all the documents that applicants needs to complete. We also have a PDF, it's something like 50 pages, where all different reusable components are described in detail. And also in this PDF, you will find also links to the GitLab. So the code, documentation, web services, APIs, and testing and examples of use are all available in GitLab. So in the part of the examples, you can also see how they can be reused. They are pretty straightforward if you read them. It's a farm calendar, a weather service, a pest infestation predictor, and the data exchange module. So, I mean, it's quite simple what to do with these services. But I think we also have Farmtopia webinar at the end of this month. So I think it will be announced. I missed the first part of the presentation, so I don't know if it is already announced. But there will be a lot of time to focus just for the technical parts. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much, Nikos.
Thank you, Nikos. So next question. Hello, I was wondering if the OTSME provided as an OS solution here is included. Here is some link included. I don't think it is mentioned in the open call for OpenAgri, but it is in the list of OS services on the website. Open source.
Okay, I think this is also a question for Nikos.
Yeah.
Okay, so yeah, can you repeat? Sorry, because I didn't listen well.
So hello, do you have an access to the questions? No?
Yes, but which question is this?
So hello, I was wondering if the...
Okay, I see that. Yeah, okay, good. If the OCSM, the data model and the ontology of the OpenAgri, okay, yeah, the ontology is not a tool. So we are not asking for someone to reuse the ontology as a tool, but it is implied that if you want to be interoperable, you need to comply with the specification of this data model. So yes, it's not an open source solution, but it's an open source data model. It's an open source way of it's a way for modeling the data. And as you will read in the requirements, to bring services through your applications that they are interoperable and that comply with the standard way of using your data and modeling your data is of high importance. So you will find again in the GitHub more details on how to use this OCSM, the ontology, how to translate your data, because we have also examples there with code scripts that we get custom modeled data sets that they are translated, converted to the OCSM. Yes, and yes, it is included in the website. It's at the bottom. It's okay.
Thank you, Nikos. So next question regarding Farmtopia, whether only one farm or more can apply?
Only one farm.
Okay. Next question, can you clarify the asterisks in the budget table on equipment costs relating to only funding depreciation costs? What about the purchase of new equipment?
I can also take this one. The equipment calculation is following the rules of Horizon Europe program and other similar programs before it. Due to high value of equipment pieces, they are not eligible in their full price. They are only eligible for the depreciation and only for their exclusive use for the project. We are applying the same logic for our open calls as well. And if you are considering buying smaller pieces of equipment, you can include them in the other goods, works, and services category, as long as it is in line with your usual accounting practices.
Okay. Are universities eligible for the Farmtopia application?
In case they are privately owned, yes, but if more than 25% of their capital or voting right or whatever the national applicable equivalent is, so if it exceeds 25%, then they are considered a publicly owned entity and therefore are not eligible for the Farmtopia Open Call.
The next question is whether we can compete with the Farmers Association as partners. I think it remains so on Farmtopia.
Yes, the question is a bit unclear because in order to apply for the Farmtopia Open Call and to be eligible, you need to be a registered farm. That means the conditions set out in the documentation. So if the question is whether you would like to apply as more than one farm, you cannot. But maybe I'm misreading it. And another question is whether the software remains 100% owned by the startup company when we compete in the partnership. This will be really up to you to define the IP between the applying partners, but of course the Farmtopia reusable components are excluded from this, meaning that you will not be owners of the components you have used that are publicly available.
And in case this is also applicable for OpenAgri, yes, it's the same. Yes. Thank you.
Okay, next question. When you say that a farm should be registered before the deadline, you mean also to have validated their organization through EU portal or just have a EC number?
You are not required to have a PIC number in order to apply for the Farmtopia Open Call, but you need to be registered with the applicable national authorities in the relevant register. And this also goes for OpenAgri.
You have to have a legal existence. So having a validated PIC number on the funding contenders portal is not important for cascade funding, this type of projects.
Okay. Is Farmtopia okay for land-based fish farm?
Yes, I mean
Yes.
it is eligible, but we cannot provide any information beyond that, because that would be going into the content of potential proposals. So it is eligible.
Aquaculture is not a sector that is currently addressed by the internal sustainable innovation pilots, so you can apply targeting this specific agricultural sector, and perhaps the interested party might receive increased evaluation points for this aspect.
Okay, we have some questions related to OpenAgri. So
yes, cooperatives are allowed in OpenAgri to be end user. And the second question is also for OpenAgri. Yeah. No, the structure of the SIPs should be similar, but within the open calls, we aim to have different applicability areas. I would call it like that. So we have, for example, we have a potato, so it should be use some other culture, for example.
Thank you.
And clarify once again about indirect cost justification. 25% is the flat rate for indirect cost justification, but in case you have subcontracting is excluded from this indirect cost justification. In case you have, in plain language, in case you have subcontracting, your budget will be less than 100,000 euros, which you're entitled for. Yeah.
Okay, we have questions from Greece also regarding on OpenAgri. My question concerns the semantic model and the ontological schemes within it, since the semantic model cannot respond to every ontological requirement, especially in the case of a detailed semantic presentation of agriculture terms related to very specific farming tasks and subject interrelations.
I can take this question. It's a very good question. The way that the ontologies are designed and developed for both project Farmtopia and OpenAgri, they follow an open and modular approach, which means that it is the core, the skeleton of the ontology is provided by the project. And then there is a group of experts in both projects where they need such challenges in order to expand the ontology and to address in a progressively manner additional areas of farming operations. So in case a new SIP appears that needs to model additional concepts, this will be implemented in collaboration with the core partners working in the technical work packages. And the appropriate standards will be searched if they exist. And if they don't exist, we propose, the project will propose their own extensions. So you are not alone in this. We don't expect the SIPs to be semantic experts in semantic and ontology in engineering, but to understand how this works and to collaborate with the technical team. So it's not a blocking issue if you have an area of farming that is not covered by the existing ontology.
Thank you, Nikos. Next question, how would you define phase 3 scale in the OpenAgri open call?
It's mostly dedicated to market activities within your, it's for the last part of your implementation of your sub-project, so market activities that you have taken during this period.
Okay, and can the reports during the project be written by a third party through subcontracting?
This is not really a matter of I mean, it's not forbidden, but it is not a good activity to subcontract. Let's just say it like that. As we again, we will not be assessing the financial report, so we will not know whether it was written by a third party or if it was written by you. But I think that there are more worthwhile activities that can be subcontracted.
Okay. If a large cooperative owns and manages directly some land, can be considered eligible as partner for subgrant.
Yes, this is a question for Farmtopia. Again, if this land is registered as an independent farm or registered as a farm that meets the criteria of the open call, then yes.
Okay. Do the business model and vision for scaling the ADS can be centered and open innovation knowledge sharing, or allocation of high return on investment is mandatory?
This question is more related to the content of potential proposals, so we are not in position to go into that much detail.
Okay. The next question, will the recording of this meeting will be available? Yes, we will make it. In OpenAgri, we have to produce two different solutions, one edge, one cloud. Or if we already have a cloud solution, we can only create an edge branch.
Okay, I can reply to this. Yes, in OpenAgri, as it was mentioned before, it is a requirement, a cloud solution to be available of TRL 5 or 6. Please check 5. Okay, please check that document. And yes, an edge solution needs to be implemented. Of course, it is good for both solutions, cloud and edge, to increase the TRL accordingly through the execution of the SIP. And the main objective here is to compare the performance of the two solutions that they are trying to address the same objective. Yes, so if you have already a cloud solution, you can only create an edge branch. It will be good also to have also some progress in your cloud solutions through the this SIP, this pilot.
Thank you. As we work in capacity building, we can be part of this. Can they be?
Sir, give me one moment, Anna.
Mm-hmm.
No. Actually, partners for both projects could be, it's two partners with each consortium. So in Farmtopia is ADS provider and farm, small and medium, or cooperative if they are within the limits. And for OpenAgri, it's a bit wider, but still it's tech provider, ADS provider, and end user. So I'm not quite sure how capacity building partner would fit into any of these categories. No.
Yes, from an eligibility standpoint, the only ones that are eligible are the technological solution provider and the end user. Whether a capacity building organization has the capacity to develop their own ADS, then sure. But these are the only roles that a potential consortium member can have.
I think the next question refers to the older question. So you mentioned the ontological representation as part of the semantic model, but the question regards if we need to develop our ontological scheme for our field of work. For example, the olive trees can be accommodated within the semantic model the OpenAgri uses.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, if it complies with the design principles of RDFS or OWL, that they are detailed specified within the various documents, then yes, it can be part of the generic OpenAgri semantic model. If I understand correct, it is that what you mentioned here is that you are going to develop your own ontological scheme. And yes, then this can be also be integrated with the generic ontology. If you don't have the expertise to create a new ontology, as I said before, this is not a problem. Then you are going to be supported by the technical team, or you are going to reuse. What you need to do here is to understand how the ontology operate from the OpenAgri and to reuse them. I hope I answered.
Okay, I will read the next question. All remained questions that are still open, we will answer them and post on our YouTube channel so you can have an access on the answers. What are the recommended open source software and the open source hardware license of the building blocks of the solution for OpenAgri?
Okay, yeah, I mean, currently it is EUPL, the open source license that is supported for the reusable open source services. The OpenAgri project will be, the software will be in the next months be integrated with the Linux Foundation and the Agricultural AgStack, as it's called, the branch of the Linux Foundation on agriculture solutions. So there will be some changes there. There might be some changes there, and in order to comply with Linux and the licensing schemes from Linux. But again, it will be something equivalent to EUPL, which is the standard way for offering us an open source the code from Europe funded project from European Commission.
Okay, thank you. Maybe we have time for one more. Are only existing mature cloud services eligible for OpenAgri funding call, or are edge hardware solutions at TRL5 also eligible?
It has to be TRL starting from 5 and above.
Okay, let's do one more. Also, for OpenAgri, the IDSS2 versions should represent a current version and an advanced version by the end of the project.
Okay, I'm not 100% sure that I understand, but I think we can include this within our videos. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. So we have 1 minute left. So maybe we will close this Q&A session for today. Huge thank you once again, everyone, for the questions and to all our speakers. If you have additional questions, of course, and if you want to stay connected, please reach us through our emails, websites, or our social media channels. Thank you again, everyone, and have a great day.